energy. So I believe it's an excellent move. Now we do not anticipate that, you know, the royal decree has been what, yesterday or the day before yesterday? Yesterday. So we do not expect in 1 year time or 2 years time Bengo will have a nuclear. So things will take, in my humble opinion, although I'm not an expert in nuclear, whatever, but I think it will take probably a couple of years. Because to go through such stage, you have to form a lot of, you know, world agreement with different bodies and different regulatory bodies.
But solar energy is one of the, I think, potential huge sources for energy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Indeed, this is what I'm saying. You know, we are going through a diversity of energy. We're not only relying on oil, and in fact, the Kingdom going through the diversity of the Saudi economy and also the diversity of the oil. It has been way back. You know, we're talking about last century when we really thought that we cannot really rely very much for good on the oil, because one day, either the oil will finish, and that's you know, act of God and Mother Nature, as they say, or an alternative source of energy will come into the play. So this is the wisdom of the Saudi government, really, when they came and they said, we cannot just rely singly on oil. So this is the diversity. When we start creating different commissions, you know, like, you know, the High Supreme Tourism Commission and the General Saudi Investment Authority and what have you, is to make a diversity of the economy and enlarge the economic base of Saudi Arabia and not really rely heavily on the oil as a main source of energy.
Very interesting. Now let's talk about the cooperation between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and also the Kingdom of Bahrain in terms of education. As we all know, the Khalij University or the Gulf University is based on Bahrain. True. With a huge support by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and members of the GCC countries. How this, in your opinion, going to affect the education future in both countries? Having very reputable institutions within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, like King Fahd University for Mineral and Petroleum, King Saud University, King Abdullah University for Science and Technology.
This is, I think, great move. And as I just mentioned, you know, there is an excellent research center in Bahrain called the Bahrain Research R&D Center, which I said just, you know, at the beginning of the program, there are some cooperation between that center and between King Fahd, you know, University of Petroleum and Mineral and other universities in Saudi. And I believe to have, you know, common university between the two countries, having Saudi studying in Bahrain and vice versa, Bahrain is studying in Saudi. I think this is a wonderful move for a simple reason. Don't forget we have some Bahraini now working in, as you mentioned, you know, rightly so, some Saudi they working in Bahrain and vice versa, some Bahraini working in Saudis. And if you go back to the labor market only, you know, very much attached, in fact, and there is a strong relationship on the educational system, how the educational system works, and really supply the need of the labor market. So when you have a common ground, if you will, for the educational program between the Saudi and between the Bahraini, between the Qatari and between the Emirati and between also the Omani, you will make the flow of the labor market, if you will, easier. Because when I go and work in Bahrain, coming from Saudi, the labor market will not find much difference for a Saudi to work in Bahrain and vice versa for a Bahraini to work in Saudi, because the common ground is the same, the education system and what have you. So definitely when you have a common educational system, it will help, as I just mentioned, for the people, for the flow of people to work here and there, and really to match the needs and the demand of the labor market. So I think it's a great move.
Okay. Now let's